So, I hear you guys have something fishy going on your beaches. Well, I've been here for the last couple of weeks and I have been running some tests and I think I have some answers for you. You guys want to know what is killing the fish and causing them to wash up on the shore. So, I have ran some tests and here's what I have come up with. Upon investigation, I have found that you have really high levels of phosphorus in your water. So what does this mean? Excess amounts of phosphorus in your water promotes excess algae growth. Okay. Now, excess algae depletes your oxygen levels in the water. Fish require sufficient oxygen in order for their cellular energy to process correctly, for them to breathe, for them to live, for them to heal, for them to feed, reproduce. All of their daily activities require lots of oxygen in the water. Without enough oxygen in the water, the fish will eventually die. Your primary sources of your phosphorus pollution would be stormwater runoff from your local crops, from your local livestock, from lawn fertilizers, and possibly even municipal wastewater treatment systems. So your lawn fertilizer is a big source of your phosphorus. Lawn fertilizer contains nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Phosphorus, we'll say P2O5, is how it's expressed. Your maintenance lawn fertilizers have only 3% P2O5. But however, your starter lawn fertilizers have 20 to 40% P2O5. That's really high amounts of phosphorus. It's really kind of excessive. So I've included some of my fact sheets, which I will also be providing to you as a PDF file. So what is phosphorus, you want to know? Really, phosphorus is a non-metallic element. It's naturally found in nature, and really it's essential. It's an essential mineral for all organisms. They need phosphorus to survive. It can be found in many forms, most commonly phosphate PO4-3. We've already talked about how your phosphorus is entering the waterway. I really think a big part of that is coming from your local farms, crops, and livestock. So what happens is the water is washing off your livestock waste and it's running into your local water streams. The farmers are fertilizing their crops, and when you guys are getting these heavy rains, it's just washing it right into your bodies of water. Is phosphorus dangerous? In normal levels, no, it's not dangerous. Phosphorus is only dangerous in large amounts. Really high amounts of phosphorus in your water generates large amounts of algae, which is taking away the oxygen. So that's what's killing your wildlife. This is fatal for fish. It's not directly fatal for fish because phosphorus is not directly dangerous, but what it's doing is fish produce energy by oxidation. This requires a constant supply of oxygen. If there isn't enough oxygen, the adrenaline stimulates the tissue and causes glycogen to be converted to glucose and energy without oxygen. So this also produces poisonous lactate. So glycolysis can only be sustained for a short period of time. Oxygen and energy will also be needed to break down the lactate. So with little to no oxygen to break down the poisons, your fish are eventually going to die. So a fish's metabolic process. So what is metabolism? Metabolism is the system of chemical processes that keep an organism alive, and for a fish, that means providing energy to powerful their everyday body processes, from building and maintaining the body parts needed to function. A fish uses two types of metabolism. They use catabolism for producing energy and anabolism for healing, growth, and reproduction. energy metabolism that uses oxygen is called aerobic metabolism, which is directly affected by high levels of phosphorus in the water. Factors that affect the metabolic rate in fish would be their age. Young fish grow more, but don't need the reproductive side yet, so a slower metabolism is okay for them. Condition. Fish in poor condition need more tissue maintenance. Their environment, oxygen levels, temperature, and salinity all affect the rate of metabolism. The size of the fish. The bigger the fish, they have slower metabolic rates. The activity of the fish. The busier the fish, they need a faster rate. How phosphorus affects metabolism. Excess phosphorus in bodies of water promote excess algae growth. The excess nutrients and large amounts of algae consume the majority of the oxygen in the water. Sufficient oxygen is required for cellular energy, and without enough energy for osmoregulation and other functions, fish will die. A lack of sufficient oxygen for food or fuel does not directly kill the animal. It is the lack of energy and the inability to heal. So scientifically, basically what happens is as water enters the gills of a fish, thousands of tiny blood vessels remove the oxygen from the water. A fish have an enzyme called cytochrome C oxidase. You can say COX1 is what that stands for. COX1 is a protein enzyme that helps to catalyze the reduction of water into oxygen. This enzyme is controlled by mitochondrial DNA and nuclear DNA. This is an important final step in fish oxidation. So some solutions for you guys. A few things that you could do is fertilization should be based on plant need only, ideally indicated by soil or tissue testing. We can test the soil, see if there's low amounts of phosphorus, and then you know that you need some fertilizer. But if you already have high amounts of phosphorus, we can make some cutbacks. We can create some new laws that allows the use of phosphorus lawn fertilizer, but only under certain situations. Again, that soil test. A new lawn is being established by seeding or laying sod. We can fertilizers applied on a golf course by trained staff. Fertilizers applied on commercial sod farms. We can come up with some laws that require all fertilizer to be cleaned off of impervious surfaces. Another law that we could create is to look for phosphorus-free fertilizer. A 0 in the middle indicates a phosphorus-free fertilizer. So several other states have already initialized and created laws or bans or restrictions on the use of fertilizers. We have Minnesota, Maine, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, New York, Florida, Maryland, Virginia, New Jersey, and Vermont. They all have bans or regulations on their use of phosphorus in fertilizers. So we could take a look at what they're doing and come up with what works for you guys. Thank you.